ever wonder why? Like some people just seem to have this like knack for building wealth and others just like struggle.
Yeah.
Even if they're, working hard or went to all the, best schools and stuff.
Right.
Well, today's deep dive is all about that. We're diving into the book, Why A Students Work for C Students and Why B Students Work for the Government.
Yeah, it's a provocative title.
It is.
But the author really digs into these like different mindsets, around money, around success, and he actually uses his own life as like a case study, which I thought was really interesting.
I like this.
Yeah. So he grew up with two father figures. His biological dad, who is a highly educated government employee.
Okay.
And then a friend's dad who was a self-made entrepreneur.
So like two totally different paths.
Yeah. And he noticed how their approaches to money, really shaped their lives.
Interesting.
Even though his, quote, poor dad was academically brilliant.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what was that like secret sauce?
Yeah.
That the rich dad had that the other one didn't?
Yeah.
Was it just about like taking more risks or was there something else?
So it wasn't just about taking risks. It was more about like understanding how money works.
Okay.
What the author calls financial literacy, right?
Right.
Which is something that,
That they don't really teach you in school, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Traditional education often prepares us, to be good employees, to climb that ladder.
Right.
But not necessarily to be savvy investors or entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I can see that. It's always like get good grades, go to college, get a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're saying, there's not a lot of like focus on investing or building assets or even understanding the different types of income.
Yeah. And that is a key point that the author drives home. He breaks down income into three main buckets.
Okay.
Ordinary income,
Okay.
portfolio income,
Okay.
and passive income.
Okay. So break those down for me. What's like the difference?
Yeah. So ordinary income is basically what you earn from a job 9 to 5.
Okay.
And it's, the most highly taxed, typically.
Right.
And you're essentially trading time for money, right?
Right. Right.
Portfolio income, on the other hand, comes from investments. So things like stocks, bonds, that kind of thing.
More like making your money work for you type of thing.
Exactly, exactly. And then passive income, this is like,
This is the dream.
This is the dream, owning a money-making machine.
Right.
Where it just keeps generating cash flow without you actively working for it every single day.
Okay.
So think, rental properties, royalties, even, certain businesses that are very, automated and run themselves.
Okay. So he's saying like to really build wealth, you need to like shift your focus.
Yeah.
From trading time for money, which is what most of us are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
To creating assets, like you're saying, that generate that passive income. Like the, the classic saying, make your money work for you, not the other way around.
100%, yeah.
Yep.
He argues that understanding these different types of income is like crucial for building that long-term wealth and really achieving financial freedom. He even goes so far as to challenge like conventional wisdom about debt.
Okay.
He argues that saving money is stupid in certain situations.
Wait, did he really say saving money is stupid? I mean, that seems a little extreme, doesn't it?
It does. But before you think like he's, advocating for reckless spending, let's hear him out. He distinguishes between what he calls good debt and bad debt.
Okay, so there's good debt and bad debt.
Yeah, so good debt is used strategically to acquire those income-generating assets.
Okay.
Right, so you're using debt to actually make more money.
Okay.
Bad debt is, your typical credit card debt, the kind of stuff that just drains your resources.
Yeah. So it's about, like, being smart with debt. Not necessarily, like, being afraid of it, but understanding how to, like, leverage it.
100%, yeah.
To, create more income. Kind of like how a business would use a loan to, grow.
Exactly. He uses this analogy of being the Fed.
Okay.
So just like the Federal Reserve can print money,
okay,
he believes individuals, you and me, we can use our understanding of financial principles to kind of create our own money printing machine.
Wow.
Through, strategic investments, leveraging debt wisely, things like that.
So it's almost like learning a whole new language.
It is.
Like, once you understand those rules, that vocabulary of finance, you can start seeing those opportunities and like making decisions that maybe you wouldn't have even seen before.
Totally. Yeah. And he argues that these skills, this financial literacy, is crucial in today's world.
Right. Because it's only gotten more and more complex.
Like just throwing money at something and hoping for the best. Probably not the best strategy.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
You know, this actually reminded me of a story. I had a friend who inherited some money.
Okay.
And he invested it all in the stock market based on a hot tip he got from somebody.
Oh, no.
And yeah, he lost a significant chunk of it because, I mean, he didn't really understand what he was getting into. It was just
following blindly.
Yeah, oh, this is going to make me a lot of money fast. This book would have been an eye-opener for him.
Absolutely. And that's why the author, he stresses the importance of not just knowing what to do.
Right.
But understanding why you're doing it.
Yeah, having a plan, I guess.
Having a plan, exactly. And really understanding your own financial goals. Because it's different for everybody.
Right.
It's not one size fits all.
Exactly.
So he provides this kind of framework for thinking about money differently.
Moving away from, that blindly following advice and making, more informed decisions based on what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, taking control of your own financial future.
Exactly. And this is where, his comparison of the rich dad and poor dad mindsets really comes into play.
Right, because it's not just about, the technical stuff, the X's and O's.
Right.
It's also about, our beliefs and our kind of attitudes toward money.
Right, 100%, yeah. He argues that our money blueprint, those subconscious beliefs we've developed about wealth and poverty, those can either hold us back or they can propel us forward.
Totally. It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The book gives examples of even seemingly harmless phrases that we hear growing up. Things like, money doesn't grow on trees.
Oh, yeah.
That can actually shape our financial reality.
Oh, I totally believe that. I remember my grandmother used to say that all the time. And it definitely stuck with me, They become these self-fulfilling prophecies almost.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's why he encourages readers to really examine their own beliefs about money.
Okay.
Challenge those limiting thoughts and start cultivating, a more abundant mindset.
So it's almost it's not just about learning the mechanics of money, but also rewiring your thinking to attract wealth and success. Is that
100%.
What he's saying?
Yeah, it's almost like you're
reprogramming.
You're reprogramming, exactly.
Yeah.
And he provides practical exercises and techniques for doing that. Everything from affirmations to visualizations to, surrounding yourself with people who have,
Oh, interesting.
a healthy relationship with money.
Okay, so your environment matters.
Environment matters.
Yeah.
It's huge, yeah.
It's changing your financial diet almost,
Yes.
out with the limiting beliefs in with, the good stuff.
100%. And he doesn't shy away from addressing some of the broader societal implications of this,
Oh, interesting. What kind of implications?
So he argues that, this lack of financial education, it can contribute to things like, growing national debt, dependence on government assistance.
Okay.
A widening gap between the rich and the poor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if you don't understand how it works, you're more likely to, take decisions that kind of keep you in that cycle.
Exactly. He believes that financial literacy is essential for empowering individuals, to take control of their lives, build a more secure future, and then ultimately contribute to, a more stable and prosperous society.
So it's not just about personal gain. It's about
bigger than that.
Yeah, it's a societal kind of shift.
Totally. He even challenges the conventional view of retirement.
Oh, okay. How so?
He's suggesting that it's a concept that was kind of created for employees, not for entrepreneurs.
Interesting. So instead of working until you're 65 and hoping you have enough saved, he's advocating for,
building a life
where
work is optional.
Yeah, work is an option, not an obligation.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
He wants people to understand that financial freedom, it isn't about retiring early. It's about having the freedom to choose how you spend your time and your resources.
Yeah. That really resonates with me because I think so many people are stuck in jobs they hate,
Yeah.
Just because they need that paycheck. They need
a paycheck.
Pay the bills. Imagine if more people had that financial literacy to create options for themselves.
Oh, totally. That's
Yeah.
ultimately the author's goal.
Yeah.
It's, to equip people with, the knowledge, the mindset to achieve that financial freedom.
It's almost like he's saying that financial literacy is like no longer this luxury.
Right.
It's like a necessity in today's world.
It is. It is. He even uses the analogy of like the game Monopoly to illustrate some of his points.
Oh, okay. How so?
Like, so, remember how in Monopoly, like the bank never goes broke.
Right.
There's always more money to be made.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so frustrating when you're like the one who's always like struggling to make rent and then someone else is like, buying up all the property.
Exactly. He argues that the game, it like reflects a lot of the principles of real world finance,
Oh, interesting.
and that understanding those principles can really empower individuals,
Oh, I like that.
to create their own financial success.
So it's almost like we've all been playing this game of money our whole lives.
We have.
But a lot of us weren't taught the rules or, like the strategies to actually win.
Right. We weren't given the instruction manual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why he stresses the importance of, becoming financially literate so we can all have a fair chance, to succeed.
It's almost like, we need like a whole new way of even thinking about education.
Right.
Like one that actually equips people with these financial skills and knowledge they need to like thrive.
Yeah, he talks about that too. He talks about how, traditional education, it often focuses on like linear thinking,
Right.
finding the right answer. But the real world, especially the financial world, is anything but linear.
Yes, like expecting a straight line in a world full of curves and like detours.
Exactly, exactly. So he believes that, true financial success requires, adaptability,
Okay.
a willingness to learn from your mistakes, and the ability to kind of course correct along the way.
So it's not just about like memorizing facts and figures.
Right.
It's about like developing that mindset, right?
The mindset.
That like embraces the change and sees the challenges as opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. And he argues that this kind of mindset is, best cultivated from a young age.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he encourages parents to like start teaching their kids about money early on.
Okay.
Like make it a part of, everyday conversations and involve them in like, simple budgeting decisions, even play games like, he mentions Monopoly,
Right.
that introduce those financial concepts.
Yeah. I love that idea because it's like you're sneaking in those financial literacy lessons
Totally.
without them even like realizing that they're learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is huge.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when I was a kid, my parents, they would give me an allowance,
Okay.
but I had to divide it
Okay.
like into these jars. There was like spending, saving, and like giving.
I love that.
And it, looking back, it taught me so much about like managing money
Yeah.
without it like feeling like this like chore or lecture,
Exactly. It was just like a natural part of life. And he even suggests that, exposing kids to different ideas, different cultures, different experiences can help them develop like what he calls quantum learning.
Quantum learning, what that?
Yeah, so it's the ability to see the world from multiple perspectives.
Okay.
And kind of adapt to new situations.
Yeah, so it's almost like giving them that like mental toolkit.
Yes.
To like navigate all the complexities of life,
Exactly.
including, the financial ones.
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from like some of the tougher topics either. Like he even challenges, that belief that the rich don't pay their fair share of taxes.
Oh yeah, that's always a hot button issue, right?
It is.
Huh.
But he breaks it down in a way that I thought was really interesting.
Okay.
He explains how the tax code is structured. There are incentives for things like, creating jobs, investing in real estate, building businesses.
Right.
So he argues that it's not about who pays the most in taxes. It's about understanding how the system works.
Right.
And then using it to your advantage.
So not about like, evading taxes or anything like that. It's just about being like financially savvy and making those informed decisions that are going to, benefit you.
Exactly.
But then ideally also, the economy.
He encourages readers to view financial literacy as a form of empowerment,
Okay.
not just for themselves, but, their families, their communities. He believes that when more people understand how money works, it leads to a more, prosperous and equitable society overall.
This deep dive has been like really eye-opening. Like it's kind of crazy how much, we don't learn about money in like traditional education.
Yeah, I agree.
Like this book really like challenges the status quo and gives like a whole new perspective.
It does.
On, achieving financial freedom and just living a more fulfilling life overall. What about you?
Yeah, 100%. It's packed with, like you said, actionable advice, thought-provoking insights. He even shares some personal anecdotes in there that make it, very relatable.
Yeah. It's definitely made me, rethink my own like relationship with money.
Yeah.
And how I can, kind of take a more proactive approach to building my own financial future.
That's awesome. And I think that's what makes this book so powerful. It's not just about, getting rich. It's really about understanding the rules of the game so that you can empower yourself.
Yeah.
Create that life of abundance, create that life of impact for yourself, for your family, for the world around you.
Yeah. And I think that's something we can all, get behind.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, hey, this has been great.
This was fun.
For everyone listening, if you want to, start rewriting your own financial story, check out this book. It might just be that, perfect place to begin.